you more that way.
Hi, this is Wayne Newton, and you're listening to my good friend and favorite DJ, Jimmy Deal.
Lamar Peters, how are you, man? Great to have you on the show. How you been?
I am so blessed because I'm on your show. That's it. How are you?
I'm so blessed to have you here with me, man. So excited about having you on. Of course, you are one of New York City's top Elvis tribute artists. You've been for a long time. You've been doing this for so many years. I know you've been singing since you were, what, like 5 years old, right? Tell us about how you got started.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think I got out of my mother's womb and I just started singing. That was it.
Amazing, man. Cool. So tell us about how the whole Elvis tribute show started. I know your dad was involved, right? Your dad is a big Elvis tribute artist, of course, Greg Peters. Tell us about all that, how that all got started for you.
Well, so basically, yeah, my dad, Greg Peters, was the first Elvis tribute artist of New York City in 1977. Again, not the world. I always specify that. From what we know of New York City, and of course, 300,000 guys later, and then I come along. Yeah, my dad, Greg Peters, he was the first guy. And my dad's been doing it for 50 years. He celebrated 50 years of entertaining, the Elvis shows, his regular shows. And me, I've been doing it about professionally 17 years, and it's a wonderful situation that we can just keep this music alive.
Absolutely. You were also placed in the top 3 in the Ultimate Elvis Tribute Contest, right? Sponsored by Elvis Presley Enterprises. What a great achievement that is. Tell us about that.
That was amazing. It was in Atlantic City, and I made top 3. And the guy who won first place, the funny thing was he already won in a contest. So it was like a battle between the second and third. And I said, you know what? I think everyone was just fantastic. I still got the endorsement. And I said, you know what? This is amazing. It got me on a level of career of being in big shows like Legends in Concert, playing with the Ambassadors. Show tour who manages Sean Clush and Cody Slaughter. So yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, your voice is so great. I mean, the vocal range is awesome. Did you have any vocal training, or did that come natural to you? Or
well, my dad, I always was like every now and then we would do scales on piano and stuff like that. I never really was vocally trained. I just practiced every day from 9 years old. I used to drive my mom nuts so much that because I wanted to prove that I was the best, and I don't think I'm the best at all. I just wanted to be the best that I could be, whether it was doing Elvis or oldies or originals, all that stuff.
Yeah, and of course you grew up where in Astoria, Queens, right? And of course, I'm sure your dad, of course,
Astoria,
was a big
Queens.
Yeah. And your dad was a big influence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So tell me how
my dad was basically. I'm sorry. Say that again.
How were you first introduced to Elvis? Of course, your dad, was a big Elvis fan. I mean, how did you become an Elvis fan? Did you by your dad's shows, or did you watch the Elvis movies, or how did that all happen?
So what happened was I was 4 years old, and I was watching Aloha from Hawaii, his most iconic concert, with the eagle suit, the whole nine. And then I seen my dad walk in after a show, and I thought my dad was Elvis. So obviously, I'm 4 years old. I still think he's Elvis. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, so I love the fact of 2 reasons. Anybody could, I've said this in previous interviews, anybody could wear jumpsuits, buy the outfits, get the equipment, get it all together. I think an essence of being a good human being is what made Elvis Presley. What me and Dad try to do, and a lot of the tribute artists around the world try to do, is we try to recreate some great stuff that he did. But as I always say, Elvis Presley is often imitated, never duplicated. And we're just tribute artists. We just want to present them in the best way we know how. That's all.
Right. And you not only do Elvis, you do Johnny Cash, right? I mean, and you do many artists. Really. Tell us about, I know you have a Johnny Cash show coming up. Tell us about that.
So I have a Johnny Cash show coming up October 9th at the Bayway Arts Center. It is presented by Bronx's own Gene Napoli, and I'll be on the stage with some great artists, Denny Rogers, and a wonderful woman who's doing Patsy Cline. It's a whole country event. If you want to get your tickets, I'm probably going to say this about twice or maybe 3 times. Just go to LamarPetersShow.com or maybe more. Just go to LamarPetersShow.com. You'll see it under calendar, all our events that are coming up. I created a show with my band called Rock and Roll Heaven, which basically takes you to Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Buddy Holly, all the great songs of yesteryear. There's about 10 different outfit changes. It's really fun, a lot of fun.
Right, and you have one of those big shows coming up in Howard Beach, I know, very soon, right? The Rock and Roll Heaven Elvis show. Tell us about that. And I know some of it benefits St. Jude as well, right?
That's correct. We do lots of fundraisers for St. Jude and the American Red Cross and Susan J. Komen. I'll be at the Roma View doing the Legend Show. It's my Icons of Music of Legend show. Mm-hmm. And we really just take you from Frank Sinatra to Dean Martin, Elvis Presley, of course, and Engelbert Humperdinck, which my father will be doing that night. He also does Engelbert and Tom Jones, which he's known for as well. So it's basically whole family affair. My brother's going to be Frank Sinatra. So it's a whole family affair.
Right. And your brother, I know, is in your band, right? Isn't he like J.J. Burton or something? Doesn't he play in your band and your dad's band?
That's correct. That's correct. We all discount each other. He does great tributes to Frank Sinatra and oldies and stuff like that. And he even dabbles in now with the Elvis stuff. I guess, the Elvis thing just touches everybody. It's an amazing feeling, again, to really just see smiles on people's faces. That's why I do it, and that's why my family does it. Yes, this is our full-time job, but we really do love what we do.
Right. Did your dad or yourself ever see Elvis in concert or ever get to meet him or anything like that?
I'm too young, but my dad saw him at Madison Square Garden in 1972.
Wow.
And, I mean, what's cool is, of course, seeing Elvis Presley. Oh, my God. But the next day in the paper, they wrote up there were 2 incognito people in the front row. And guess who those 2 people were?
I could imagine. Tell us.
John Lennon and Paul McCartney.
Oh,
wearing a hat, this, and they said they didn't want to be seen because maybe there'd be a frenzy at the Beatles, But when you're at an Elvis show, they are just locked into the king, baby.
I mean, that's like the king in New York, man. Madison Square Garden. Oh my God, one of my favorite albums, one of my favorite shows. Absolutely. Also, I mean, you performed everywhere. I mean, pretty much all over Brooklyn, Queens, right? Atlantic City, Florida. Do you have a favorite place to perform, do the show?
I absolutely loved, honestly. I just did the Alabama Theater in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach.
Oh,
and
nice.
we had over 2,500 guests. I appeared on the stage with Bobby Wilson, Jackie Wilson's son, who is flawless. He's fantastic.
He's been on the show.
He's great.
Yeah, I've had him on the show.
Awesome.
Great guy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great guy. And it was amazing because I did my spot, and I've had tons of people come up to us after the show. When are you coming back? And I says, where do I sign? I'll come back tomorrow if you want me to. So it was amazing. It was amazing. And then next year we'll be in Dublin, Ireland.
Oh, how cool is that? Wow, nice.
Yeah. I will be the first. This is something I'm actually extremely proud of. It's because of my residency in Manhattan at Hoswell Greens. These gentlemen came up to me and said, Elvis never left the country, and we'd like you to appear in Dublin, Ireland. Again, I said, where did I sign? That's it.
So awesome. Yeah, I mean, Elvis has tons of fans in Europe, man. He never got to go there, but boy, did they come here to see him, and it's still going on. It's amazing.
It truly is. It really, really is. really is.
What about Memphis? Have you played in Memphis at all? I'm sure you've been to Graceland. I'm sure you have been there a couple of times at least.
I've been to Graceland 3 times. My first time was actually to compete in the Elvis contest, my very first time. And the other 2 times were vacationing.
Oh, nice.
So I think Graceland is just beautiful. It just has such a wonderful presence about it. You're in the presence of Elvis Presley's house. Why not? Yeah.
Of course. And of course, we have a mutual friend we both knew George Klein, and George was such a great guy. Yeah, I used to be part of his Elvis Hour show on the Elvis radio. I was a correspondent had my Johnny Cash interview aired on George's show, which is so awesome. I miss him so much. What a great guy. What a great guy.
God bless him. I mean, he was Elvis's best man at his wedding. So, I mean, come on, Yep. Elvis was his best man at his wedding. Let me get that straight. Yeah. Elvis was George Klein's best man. How cool is that?
I love those pictures, especially the one with the gun. Did you ever see that picture with the gun?
Oh, yeah. I love that stuff.
Yeah, me too.
It just goes to show you how much of a fun-loving human being he was, and actually pretty normal. Like, I think the perception of the name Presley is the fact of that's the icon. But Elvis was such a humble young guy. And when I say young, I'm 35. He died at 42. That's only a few years from now. So I get it. I totally get it. And he was just an amazing guy.
He really was. I was young when he died too. And I became a fan sort of after he died because, I started to watch all the movies and the videos and, listen to the records. And I said, man, nobody was cooler than this guy for sure.
I think John Lennon did say it the best to bring him up again was he was in the audience at the Ed Sullivan Show, and he says, I think this is the job I want. And he was pointing to Elvis.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they idolized him, which was amazing,
Sure.
So awesome. I know you're going to be doing the ice cream factory again on the Brooklyn Bridge Promenade over there. I came to that show, which was an awesome show, by the way. And I know you're going to be doing it again. Tell us about that show. And I know you've done it quite a few times.
So I play there every other month because there are such wonderful folks over there. First of all, right under the Brooklyn Bridge, you got it's a very small venue, but I'm going to tell you, it's fun. It's loving. I feel like I'm in my living room doing my show at this particular place because everybody treats me like family. Right. And how could you beat summer nights, ice cream, entertainment, great food, and looking at the Brooklyn Bridge? I mean, you just can't beat that,
Absolutely. When I was there, it was such a fantastic show. And you get everybody involved. I mean, you get everybody up dancing. And you do a lot of pop stuff as well. I mean, you don't only do Elvis and some of the legends, but you do even like Billy Joel. I mean, you do some really cool stuff.
I like to give the audience something. If you say, well, what's the age range in your audience? I want to say 0 to 99. If I could sing stuff by Billy Joel, Michael Bublé, Bruno Mars, I'd love to do it for them. And, my hair and sideburns are always here, thank God. So some people are funny. They come up to me, and I love this. They go, wow, I didn't know that Elvis Presley sang Only the Good Die Young. I says, he didn't sing that. I sing that, and Billy Joel sings
Absolutely. I mean, it's so cool, man. And I said, the kids love you because, you even do some disco stuff, which was pretty awesome, man. I mean, and everybody was up dancing.
That's what we want. Listen, if they're not singing and dancing with us, well, we should quit. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I mean, and you do all types of corporate events, right? And birthdays and weddings. Yeah. You do all types of events, really. I know you do a lot of private events as well.
Yes. It's funny. After 17 years, this was the first year. We usually do between 180 and 220. This is the first year I booked 300 shows this year.
Oh, wow.
And it's amazing. I've been so blessed to do this. And a lot of my shows, because this is my full-time job for 17 years, again, it could go high, low. And you just got to give it as if you're on the Madison Square Garden stage. You always have to do. I tell my band members, I don't care if there's 1 person or 1 million, we're going to do our 110% no matter what.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and for sure. I mean, when I saw you, I mean, it was such a fantastic show, and you were so entertaining,
Thank
and
you.
you were really, really great to see. I hope everybody comes out and sees you at all your shows. I mean, they're all fantastic, really.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
How do you stay in such great shape? I mean, you look great. I mean, do you exercise? Do you stay? How do you keep that vocal range too? Do you exercise the voice as well?
I don't eat the ice cream. I just performed there. I don't eat the.
That's sort of hard to do in the ice cream factory. Let me tell you, man.
I tell you, thank you for that. Recently, I lost 31 pounds because listen, I'm a straightforward guy. I love food. I mean, we all love food. I'm Italian and Greek. Well, who doesn't love food? So,
of course.
But I gotta say, every day I exercise, and also what keeps you in shape is doing these shows. If you're sweating for 2-3 hours in these heavy suits, you're pouring it off, man. You're just pouring it off.
Exactly.
So,
what about the Elvis
thank you. I
jumpsuits?
appreciate it.
Absolutely. What about the Elvis jumpsuits? I know you have a few cool ones, man. How do you get those? I mean, and how do you keep them in such nice shape and form?
Well, I'll be honest with you. It's very hard because I don't look anything like Elvis unless I put makeup on, and then I don't look like him again. But no, all the white suits get the makeup on them. So right away, I gotta pop that baby in the washing machine and stuff like that. And usually my suits run between $2,000 and $3,000, and I have about seven of them. Yeah, they're all professionally made. And truth be told, one of the companies this is so funny that I get my suits from actually made Elvis Presley's jumpsuits, and all the ETAs get it from B&K Enterprises. B&K, so they're still in business. They make them, not just me, everybody. Whoever does the Elvis or whatever. So, so they're all custom made to me. I favor, because I'm still a little young, I favor the 50s stuff, but they always want that Vegas white suit. Always. Yeah, always.
I was going to ask you about that. I mean, of course, you go through every stage of Elvis's career, of course, from the 50s to 60s, right? The 68 comeback, the 70s, the Vegas years. What's your favorite to perform? Is it the 50s or is it the Vegas years? What's your favorite?
I'll be honest with you. I love every era, but I love the rawness of the 50s, where Elvis was so young but ready, where when he was already cultivated with the Vegas, it was like, all right, I'm Elvis Presley. Here I am, baby. That kind of thing, So I just love the rawness of it all. And who doesn't love the 68 comeback? I mean, flawless. The guy was flawless,
Of course.
So,
I mean, what about a favorite song to perform? Do you have a favorite Elvis song to perform?
It depends, but I have a newfound love for If I Can Dream. Really? That is my ultimate favorite, and even my dad too. When we sing it together as a duet, we did CBS 2 News. We sang it together on there, and it's very electrifying, and it's a real meaningful song. Especially, I don't want to go into politics or anything, but especially nowadays, it means a lot. It does.
Well, back in the day, I was a disc jockey in Canarsie, Brooklyn, and your dad used to perform at a pizza place here in Canarsie way back in the day. And actually, I was doing a house DJ for the church here, Holy Family Church in Canarsie, and I did a gig, and your dad was at my gig. He was a guest at my gig, which was awesome.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. I still have pictures from that, in fact, which was pretty awesome. Your dad was awesome as well.
Thank you. It is so funny because we joke about this, and even my dad, we could be sitting next to each other. Sometimes they think we're brothers, and it's so funny because I'm 35 and my dad is 70, and I'm like, that's great for him, terrible for me. So, it's just, I think if my father was an electrician, I would still be a performer. Really? I think if his father was an electrician, he would still be a performer. Just something that we love to do, really. I have about 18 theaters that we play. around the globe and stuff like that. And there is just nothing like putting on a theater show where they see my orchestra, they see the show, and then after the show, you get such wonderful compliments. And this one compliment that I will always stay with me is, I'm so glad you're not an impersonator. Right. And at the time, I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Like, you know, you're a tribute artist that does it with love, respect, and honor. That's
exactly. I mean, you pay such great tribute to Elvis, which is so awesome. If you had the chance to meet him back in the day, what would you have asked him, or what would you say to Elvis?
I always thought about this. I would sit down with Elvis. I wouldn't tell him how great he is. I wouldn't tell him this. I would say, Elvis, would you like to play a game of pool?
Really? Okay. That's so awesome.
I would say that. Just let's play a game of pool. Let's have some coffee. I don't drink, so I'm you know, maybe if he did, that's fine. But have a cup of coffee, watch some wrestling. He was a big wrestling fan that I know, so stuff like that.
Yeah, one of my favorite rooms there in Graceland, the pool room, of course. Do you have a favorite room in Graceland when you go through the tour there?
I like the TV room, the TCB room.
The TCB
yeah, all the TVs around, yeah.
Absolutely. And of course, the famous cars. I love the pink Cadillac and of course, the white, the 57 Lincoln. He had so many great cars. I mean, I'll tell you, in 42 years, the man lived, and he lived well.
Yes. I'll give him that. I'm glad he got the chance to live to his fullest on that end. You know,
he did.
I mean, he really was such a young guy. Really was. It's such a shame.
Yeah. So let me ask you, when you're in your car listening to the radio, when you're not listening to Elvis and Johnny Cash, Engelbert, and Tom Jones, what are you listening to? Who do you like today? Any current artist?
I listen to Tony Bennett. I listen to Frank Sinatra. I listen to Michael Bublé. I love country guys like Luke Combs and Blake Shelton. I think they're very, very talented, very catchy. Lately, I have a newfound love. I always like to dabble into things to expand the show. I just think Tony Bennett was just so amazing. His voice and the way he pronounced his things, like, you know, I just was listening to "It's the Good Life" for a while. Oh my God, I was like, this is great. You know, it's like, to capture you instantly is what I try to do with my show. Right. I was taught when I auditioned for the $1 Million Quartet, which is a play about Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Carl Perkins in Sun Studios. The producer told me at the time, he said it takes 1, 2, 3 to know someone is great. And that's it. And that always stuck with me.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, did you play Vegas at all at any time in your career?
I do a little bit of guitar and drums. Nothing to the extent of my father, though. No, nothing. Really? No. Okay. I'm just more of an entertainer. A little bit dabble just for fun, like that kind of stuff.
Right. I'm sure you own some really cool Elvis memorabilia, because I know I do. Do you have anything that you can tell us about? Any special things that you can share with us?
I would, you know what? I should have been more prepared for this. I'll tell you what. The one thing that I love the most about my Elvis memorabilia is I have a little rock from Graceland.
Oh, really?
That, don't tell anybody. I think I stole it. But anyway.
I'll tell you something right after that.
The world knows. All right. So a little rock, and I still have it. It's in my basement in a case. So I still have that. And just things that fans give me. I keep, everybody who's listening, if you think I don't keep everything, you could ask my wife. I keep everything.
Yeah,
I keep it all. Whether it be a coloring book or a pen that's half broken, and you give it to me, I take it.
Well, you know, it's funny you mention a rock, because I stole a little rock from his house in Palm Springs, which is pretty awesome, and I have down in my apartment, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, and I cherish that rock. Believe me. So yeah, of course, yeah.
So we're more alike than we realize.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I walked all around
Yeah.
that house that we owned in Palm Springs, and I said, I got to take a souvenir home, you know. So,
Listen, if it was anything else, I'm sure security would go crazy, but like, come on, it's Elvis.
of course, yeah. And of course, he had the honeymoon house there as well. So of course, I went crazy in that. I got to go inside that one. That was awesome. So that was really, really cool.
Cool.
But, yeah, I'm into some
Very,
cool
very
houses,
cool.
cool cars, which is so awesome, man. But yeah. So what's next? What you know, you got this great passion for this business. What keeps you motivated? What gives you that passion?
People, when I do a show, especially Brooklyn, they'll be honest with you about anything. They'll be honest with you. No, what keeps the passion going is I live and die by the sword. I love what I do. I wouldn't change my life for anyone's in the world. If I never sang another song, just put me in the casket. There you go.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. I love performing. I love it.
Any crazy things that you can tell us about while you're performing up on stage? I'm sure some crazy things happened to you over the years with either Elvis fans or just people in your audience.
It's only a half-hour show. I've gotten a few. Yeah, I've gotten a few people who thought I really was him. You know, ex-nay on the women thing. Yeah. So I could tell you this one funny story. There was a man who booked me at a show, and he said it was at the Boston Civic Center, and
nice.
I was actually doing Johnny Cash. I was doing Johnny Cash, and he said, don't be alarmed. There's going to be 30,000 people in front of you. So I said, not a problem. Oh, by the way, Tommy Lee Jones is in the front row because this is his organization, and he wants you to shave your sideburns because you look like Elvis instead of Johnny Cash.
Oh, are you serious?
Oh,
my God.
I said, what do I do? So I made him a little bit smaller and stuff like that.
Right.
He comes up to me after the show. He says, "Kid, you did a great job. Thanks, Elvis."
Well, you know, you take it away from the Elvis thing. That's what it is, you know.
I guess it's the sideburns. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that gives it away. Well, you know, Johnny Cash had some sideburns, you know, especially in the older years, for sure. You know, he did.
I think everybody had. At one point in the 60s, 70s, everybody had sideburns, you know.
Yeah, especially Engelbert. I mean, I think Engelbert still has them, actually. You know,
sure,
he's still going really strong at what he's like, you know, in his 80s now. You know, and he's still
86, and he's fantastic. He's still going strong. So is Tom Jones, 83. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, he's coming into town, I think, soon. He's going to be, I believe, downtown Brooklyn. I believe he's doing a show, which is pretty awesome. I know he didn't like to travel too much. I mean, one of the last times I had seen him, he said, you know, he didn't really like to fly overseas too much, but evidently I guess he's doing okay because he's coming back here, so which is awesome. So,
hey, why not?
Absolutely. So but any other shows you want to mention before I let you go? I know you're doing
sure.
Is it in Howard Beach there? I know that's another one you're doing, right? You got some Howard Beach shows that you mentioned, of course.
Sure. So, what I'd like to do first off is thank you for having me on. This is awesome. You're such a sweetheart guy. I love our communication. I love our connection. I'd like to mention, if you want to see any one of my shows, we perform nightly. We're everywhere. LamarPetersShow.com is where you can see it. I'll be at the Roma View in Howard Beach in November. I'll be returning my holiday spectacular in December. All dates, time, and info are on that website. And as my manager would say, just put them to the website. That's why we have it.
Awesome. Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about that holiday show. That holiday show sounds so cool. You were telling me about.
So I had, me and Dad came up with something. I was actually 10 years old. I love Christmas. I love December. It's my birthday month. It's a whole bunch of stuff. But the Holiday Spectacular basically is a non-Elvis show that gives you the best Christmas and rock and roll music. This year, I'm so proud of it because this is the first time I'm going to have an 8-piece orchestra instead of just a 4-piece band. We're talking horns, violins, backup singers, and of course, my Great Pretenders show band, which I love these guys. I've been with them over 8 years, and this will be a milestone because this will be our 11th holiday spectacular that were just about sold out, that we had to add a second show.
Wow.
So
Well, save me a seat for that second show. Save me a seat to that second show.
I'm going to give it 2 right in front. Just don't say your name is Tommy Lee.
Okay, you got it. You got that. Absolutely, man. Well,
December 14th. December 14th, we got your tickets for Merrick Theater. And like I said, you could just visit LamarPetersShow.com. We'd love to have everyone. My show is for any age, anybody who wants to come and just kick it and have a great time.
Awesome. Any advice to anybody starting out in the business? Maybe they want to do Elvis. Maybe they just want to be a singer. Any advice?
Run away now. Just keep moving. Just pretend like you're Rocky Balboa and just keep punching. And not in a literal way, in a photographic way, of course. Just constantly, if you love what you do, you haven't worked a day in your life.
Of course. And one more time, of course, when people come to your show, what do you want them to take away from the show when they leave?
A smile, oh my God, I can't wait to come back. And if you want to know where to come see it again, LamarPetersShow.com.
Thank you so much, Lamar.
We'd love to have you guys.
Man, it was great seeing you again, and I can't wait to come back to your show again and see you again. Before I let you go, can you do a lineup for the show? Say, hey, this is Elvis tribute artist Lamar Peters. You're listening to Jimmy Deal on Celebrity Spotlight.
Hey, this is Elvis tribute artist Lamar Peters. You're listening to Jimmy Deal, man of the hour. He is the man. I'm the Elvis tribute artist, New York City. How's that?
Thank you so much, Lamar. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and I can't wait to see your show again. I encourage everybody, check him out. He is the best, one of the greatest Elvis tribute artists out there. So,
I don't believe it, but I'm humbled to take it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. No, so please say hello to your dad for me. It's been a long time since I've seen him, but I remember our great gig together. I never forget it. It was a great time, and please say hello to him for me.
I definitely will. Jimmy, thank you so much for having me. Stay blessed as you always are.
Thank you, Lamar. I appreciate it so much. We'll talk soon. Take care.
You got it. Take care, buddy.
Okay, bye-bye now. Lamar Peters right there, Elvis tribute artist. Great guy. Please check him out. So many great shows. Go to his website. He's got so many shows on there. You know, he is just so fantastic. You have to check him out. If you're an Elvis fan, if you're a Johnny Cash fan, Engelbert, Tom Jones, Tony Bennett, this guy does it all. You know, check him out. He's fantastic. Also coming up on the show on Celebrity Spotlight, we have Erin Murphy's going to be here. That's going to be in 2 weeks on Monday. Of course, she was Tabitha from Bewitched. She will join us and some other people. She's working with a special organization. We're going to find out all about that and what she has going on. So it's Erin Murphy, Tabitha from Bewitched will be here, and that's in 2 weeks on Monday. So please join me for that. Also, I want to say thank you to producer Cindy, doing a great job out there. She's out there tonight. Cindy Legron-Conkema. My buddy Tom Payton's out there. Brad Siegel's out there. So many great people. My mom in Brooklyn who listens to the show all the time. Thank you so much. So many great people that listen to the show all the time. I really do appreciate it. Beryl up there, I believe I believe she's up in Vermont. Please, she checks out the show all the time. Her and her dad, actually, it's Virginia, the mountains of Virginia. Beryl and her dad up there in Virginia. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much that they listen to the show all the time. And also I got people that listen in Vermont, all over the place. Thank you for listening to Celebrity Spotlight. All right, everybody, we'll check you out in 2 weeks with Erin Murphy, Tabitha from Bewitched. Please join us. And also check out my buddy Lamar Peters. Of course, he's great. So go to his website, check out his shows, and believe me, you're going to enjoy it. Everybody have a great night. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye now.